Hello, it is Wednesday, February 9th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Wednesday puzzle, so we're halfway through the week. That'll be a bit of a step up in challenge from Monday and Tuesday, presumably. And this edition of the Daily Solve is brought to you by Victoria, Rajishka, Alex, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster. So thank you to the three of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. If you'd like to join their ranks as a benefactor and get that Let's Check the Crosses mug with the Daily Solve logo, and as well as this recognition, of course, you can do that at patreon.com/dailysolve. But there you can also find other ways to contribute to the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. And at any tier, you do get access to all of the bonus Solve videos that have gone up over the however long it's been, several months, I suppose, of the Patreon campaign, as well as that extra channel in the Daily Solve Discord chat server. And again, thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. I do very much appreciate it. It's how this series becomes a sustainable part of my daily work. And I suppose that's it. So if you remain to the end of the video, we will address some comments from yesterday's puzzle. If you're interested in that, there were several this time. And today we're going to solve a new crossword. That's what we do every day. Don't really need to determine that. Anyway, this is a Wednesday puzzle. As I say, it's constructed by Grant Thackeray, who's constructed a handful of puzzles for the New York Times previously. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So there will be a theme. It is a Wednesday puzzle. We're still in the themed part of the week, so keep a lookout for that. Otherwise, let's get started. Okay. With 6 across, underwater creature that's not actually a 6 across. Oh, that's funny. Well, let me think. Oh, I don't know. I'm sure this will be very, very. Oh, wait a second. No. I don't have it. Sorry. Well, one down is actor Goldblum of The Fly. That's Jeff Goldblum of The Fly, and many other films. All right, let's see. With 6 across, underwater creature that's not actually a creature, and that's not actually a 6 across. Sorry, this is probably very clear to many of you. Jeff Goldblum. I have met Jeff Goldblum on a couple of occasions, actually, at jazz shows he has played. He is a unique and unusual presence. McDonald's jingle, E-I-E-I-O. So there's a bit of misdirection going on here with the question mark, the pun indicator, pun or wordplay. And of course, the first thing one might think when you see this would be an advertising jingle for the fast food chain McDonald's, but it's actually spelled MacDonald, not McDonald. And so it's different. And what this is in fact referring to, I believe, is the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm, E-I-E-I-O. And so you could say E-I-E-I-O is the jingle, you could say, from that children's song. Corksland, Ira, poetic or traditional name for Ireland, Irish name for Ireland, I should say, I suppose. Proud, loyal types, it's said. Well, it'll end with an S, probably. Uncle of 1960s TV. This might be Uncle Fester from, is it the Munsters? I believe so. I couldn't remember if it was the Addams Family or the Munsters. I believe it's the Munsters. Proud, loyal types, it's said. Still not sure. Window frame part. This is irritating because I'm sure I know this word and I can't bring it to mind. Seem to be not quite there today. Oh, jellyfish. Underwater creature that's not actually a fish is a jellyfish. There we go. All right. I don't know group or family or genus jellyfish belong to, but not fish apparently, which makes sense. They sure don't look like fish. Oh, proud loyal types, it said, are Leos. All right. I suppose I'm not surprised. I didn't get this. I'm not very familiar with the astrological signs, the zodiac signs and their various personality claims. Okay, sing in a high range. You could yodel. This came up recently as well in a similar sort of punny clue. Again, the question mark indicates a pun or wordplay. So here when we say sing in a high range, we don't mean high range as in a soprano range, for instance. We mean Up in a mountain range, high up in a mountain range. You might yodel in the Alps, for instance. Part of a palm, you could have a palm frond. Oh, lintel. The window frame part is a lintel. Yes, okay. And with 25 across, underwater creature that's... Oh, this is fun. So we do have a theme. This isn't just... I was wondering about this jellyfish thing. This could have just been a one-off funny clue. Underwater creature that's not actually a fish, jellyfish. But it looks like it's a theme, so we'll have several of these, presumably. With 25 across, underwater creature that's not actually... Okay, this is probably electric eel, I would think. So interesting. Not actually an eel. I bet that's what that is. 21, pauses from playing. This could apply to a number of situations, but I suspect this is referring to a rest in music. So you stop playing because in the musical score, there is annotated a rest, which means don't play for the indicated amount of time, the indicated number of beats. That in Italian. I don't. My Italian knowledge is not very strong. I'll have to get crosses for that. Conformists metaphorically could be sheep, and insight from an insider could be a hot tip. If one had the wheel, one steered, and it's often made hot and served cold. Well, iced tea is often brewed hot and then chilled. Blank 1, Ghostbusters vehicle. Ecto 1, ectoplasm, presumably that refers to, I guess. And it changes length every 4 years, abbreviation. February does, because every 4 years we have a leap month or a leap year, and February has an extra day to balance out the slightly too short year length. Reddish purple side dish, beet what? Beet salad, I guess. Beet or beetroot, as they would say here in the UK. Security blank, security detail. You could have I don't know, the Secret Service might provide security detail for the president, for instance. Latte option, I suppose chai, spiced tea. You could have a spiced tea latte, a chai latte. Let's go. Could be come on, I suppose. Comb home. It could be honeycomb, a bee's home, a beehive, a hive. And leftorium owner on The Simpsons, Ned. It's Ned Flanders, the character. I don't know what the leftorium is. Leftorium. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. Sorry about that. Egg cells are ova, plural of ovum. And beer o'clock in commercials, it must be Miller time. I sort of vaguely remember these commercials. It's Miller time, or at least it's one of those things. I don't even know if I remember the commercials. I may just be aware of the slogan through cultural osmosis. I suspect that's actually even more likely. Okay, mythical ship that sailed to Colchis would be the Argo, presumably, captained by Jason and crewed by Jason's Argonauts in myth. Dr. Blank, Sonic the Hedgehog villain. I happen to know this is Dr. Eggman, one of the more ridiculously named villainous characters. CC'd within modern, I don't know, workplace lingo, I guess. You would say looped in, CC'd to an email, carbon copied to an email, looped in. Gas brand with a triangular logo, Citgo. I actually don't know the Citgo logo offhand, but I know that Citgo is a gas brand, a service station brand, so Citgo must be the answer based on these crosses. Word before drop or ball. You could have an airdrop. You could airdrop, I don't know, humanitarian aid, for instance, or you could have an air ball, which I think is in basketball when you utterly miss the basket, an air ball, I think. Sorry if that's wrong. I've had quite a few cases recently where I thought I knew something about sports and then I was utterly incorrect, so yeah, we'll see. Blank Ching. That's probably cha-ching. I remember in the 90s that was a big, exclamation of victory, I suppose. Cha-ching. Imitating the sound of a cash register, presumably. And C36 across. Another one of these theme clues. With 38 across, underwater creature that's not actually a 38 across, nor a 36 across, for that matter. Oh, interesting. I mean, it's obviously some kind of shrimp. I mean, tiger shrimp is a thing, right? That would. I guess that probably wouldn't fulfill this because that probably is actually a shrimp, but it's not a tiger, that's for sure. I don't know. I'm going to need crosses to know what the first word, the prefix is. Lieu could be stead. You will go in somebody's stead. You will go in lieu of that person instead of that person. Virtual city dweller. This might be a sim from the computer game The Sims, one of the best-selling computer games of all time, in which you sort of play God among a bunch of little autonomous characters milling around in a town, and you can, lock them in a bathroom or whatever. They go insane. Okay, Kazakhstan's blank sea, the Aral Sea, I believe. Equips for battle. It could be armors. You could armor someone. You could also arm someone. You could armor someone or arm them for battle. To burglarize somebody is to rob them. And one who sets the stage. One who sets the stage. Not sure. Rare blood type. Oh, yeah. AB. I don't remember. Is it AB negative? Is that? I mean, the thing is, positive would fit in the exact same cells. So I'm not completely confident about that. Let's check some crosses and see if we can confirm or deny. Oh, it's another theme clue. With 48 across, underwater creature, that's certainly not a 48 across. Did they all say certainly? No, this said not actually. This said not actually. This also said not actually. So interesting. This one is certainly not a thing. They're all underwater creatures. That's interesting. Certainly not. So there's something particularly different, I suppose, about this creature relative to its namesake. That's interesting. But I don't know what it means. Remain to be seen is you could have something pending. It's still in train. It's still in the works. You said it. I don't know. Just finding a cross here. Biblical queendom. You can have Sheba, the queen of Sheba. And more difficult to please, probably ends in ER. Let's just put that in. Like the 5 animals in this puzzle's theme. Oh. Are they aquatic, perhaps? It fits. We'll have to check. This Q is unusual. Let's check yes, it is. It does look right. Because to arouse his interest is to pique. You could pique somebody's interest. And 45 for each row or column in a Sudoku grid. 45 is the sum of any row or column in a Sudoku grid, as well as the sum of each box in the Sudoku grid, because each Sudoku row, column, and box contains one each of the digits 1 to 9, and if you add those 9 digits together, you get the sum of 45. That's what the Cracking the Cryptic channel here on YouTube is referred to as The Secret. Okay, a high-ranking Turkish officer is a pasha, and someone who's more difficult to please is pickier than someone else, you could say. Oh, a sea cucumber. Ah, I see. Right, all right. I understand why the sea cucumber is certainly not a cucumber. You might think, an electric eel, is that an eel? Oh, I guess it's actually not an eel. I guess a jellyfish isn't actually a fish. A sea cucumber is certainly not a cucumber. So that explains that difference. And it's good that we had several consistent softer versions of this clue before we got the insistent one. That's a nice bit of construction. It's a nice dynamic for it to follow. A sergeant's inferior, and sergeant is abbreviated, so will be the answer. A corporal, I suppose? Capital that ends with its state's first 2 letters. Topeka, Kansas, which does indeed end with K-A, the first 2 letters of Kansas. And I don't believe that's the official state abbreviation for Kansas. I think that would be KS. So that's why they referred to it as the first 2 letters and not the abbreviation of the state. Southwest Settlement could be a pueblo, I believe. Oh, and here, with 65 across, underwater creature that actually is a 64 across, despite a common misconception. Well, it's an orca something. Orca whale? Do you say orca whale? I don't know that I've heard that phrase before. I hear killer whale to refer to an orca. And it's funny, by the way, my first thought when I saw underwater creature that's not actually a six across, my first thought was, oh, is it a killer whale? Because is an orca not actually a whale? And then I thought, no, I think that's a common misconception. I think an orca is in fact a whale. So hopefully I am correct in my understanding of that misconception. But I don't think I was familiar with the phrase orca whale. So maybe this is wrong, and maybe my entire orca premise is incorrect. No, I don't think so. Because a place to find a crook is an elbow, the crook of your elbow. And I'm gonna try and check these whale crosses quickly. You said it. Oh, I see. Preach. You said it. Preach. An orca is a whale. Preach. Lead into girl could be at a girl. You see that with at a boy as well. Contraction, I suppose, of that's a girl, that's a boy. Good job, you've done it. Author Silverstein, Shel Silverstein, the American, I suppose, sort of children's poet, I guess you could say. I don't know. He may have also written poetry for adults, but I'm not sure. I think he's mainly known for poetry and fiction, I guess, also. Where the Sidewalk Ends, I think Shel Silverstein. Anyway, Yankees division, this would be baseball, AL East. I have so many crosses here that I'm confident this is not incorrect. The American League East, the division in which the Yankees play. To have a soak is to bathe. And the Ivy League schools, e.g., they must be an octet. There must be 8 Ivy League schools. Those are private universities in the United States, widely regarded as extremely prestigious. Not necessarily the 8 most prestigious schools in the country, but they're a particular group of East Coast prestigious universities. Okay. And French noodle in quotation marks to indicate that it's a bit of a joke here. We don't mean literally noodle. We mean your head in this case, your tête, head, your brain, your noodle. All right. Rings at a luau would be leis, the floral garlands that place around your neck in Hawaii at a luau, for instance. Organization for retirees. Not sure offhand. They're chucked in a chuck and bored in a board. Drill bits. The drill chuck, where you put the drill bit, and you could bore a drill bit into a board to drill a hole. So what? Oh, I see. Organization for retirees is, of course, Social Security Administration, right? I don't know why that was difficult to get. I guess everyone sort of everyone who works in the United States deals with the Social Security Administration regardless of age in some capacity, because you do pay taxes to them. So I wonder, maybe that's why I don't know. Maybe that's why I didn't think of it for retirees. I'm not sure, but certainly they pay out pensions to retirees. Corrida cheers would be olays, Spanish cheer, and is that referring to bullfighting, perhaps? And then we have Juno's husband, Jove. So this would be Hera and Zeus in the Roman equivalent of the Greek mythology, the Greek pantheon, I should say. Okay, 45 spinners are DJs. They spin 45 RPM records, EPs, the smaller records. If one gets the picture, one sees, and a preschool group, oh, I see, preschool group is row. That's a very clever clue. That's sort of almost a cryptic-ish vibe going on there. But in this case, the question mark does let us know there's some kind of pun. So what this means is row fish eggs, and they mean preschool. In other words, the fish eggs, the row, will lead to a school of fish when the eggs are birthed into fish. And that's a good thematically appropriate cross in this oceanic crossword today. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, right. Underwater creature that's not actually a 38 cross. Morris shrimp? That sort of rings a bell, but I don't know exactly what it is. Barge tower. And classical performance hall could be an odium. Barge Tower. Actress Diana of the Avengers, Diana Rigg from the Mrs. Peel from the classic British secret agent series, The Avengers. Oh, a roadie sets the stage, of course, for a rock band, for instance. So a roadie could set up the amps and microphones and all that sort of thing for a band who will take the stage. Okay, so it's not Morris. What is this? I don't think I know this shrimp name. Here we have a rare blood tape. Oh, and I think I originally set out to maybe confirm or deny this, but I think I just sort of forgot about it entirely. Anyway, AB negative looks right. Oh, mantis shrimp. That sounds more familiar than Morris shrimp. I don't know what Morris shrimp came from in my brain. A strange thought. And a barge. Oh, it's not barge tower. It's a barge tower. It is a a boat that tows, for instance, a barge, a tugboat. That tower. Speaking of cryptic crosswords, something that looks like tower but is actually in tower is extremely common in cryptics. You'll get the most common one probably would be what looks like flower but in fact is flower and refers to a river. Comes up all the time. Anyway, a tugboat, and then mantis shrimp, and is that it? That is. So that was the Wednesday puzzle, and we had a nice. That was a good theme, an educational theme. So we had underwater creatures that are not, in fact, the type of creature implied by their second word. A jellyfish, not actually a fish. An electric eel, not actually an eel. A mantis shrimp, not actually a shrimp. A sea cucumber, certainly not a cucumber. And a good combo breaker here. An orca whale, in fact, is a whale. So there we have it. And yeah, I think that was a nice fun theme. Slightly more involved theme than the last 2 days. Maybe involved is the wrong word. It's in contrast to our last 2 days of theme, in that this is one where you do sort of need to, well, it's not, I was going to say you need to know the rules of the theme in order to solve it, but you don't, because the rules are not hidden from you. The rules are spelled out individually in every single theme clue. So it's not as though you need to figure anything out yourself, but you do need to actually engage with the theme in order to fill the answers. I guess that's what I'm saying. Whereas the past two puzzles, you could complete the puzzle by simply filling in the primary part of the clue and not paying any attention to the theme element or what it means. In this case, you do really need to engage with that, because interestingly, the answer comprises part of the clue itself. So we can't even see the full clue for one across until we have part of its answer, which is sort of interesting. Sort of a meta self-referential style of cluing. So I think that was a good fun puzzle by Grant Thackeray. I enjoyed it. Not too challenging otherwise, I don't think. But as always, let me know how you fared. And so now, speaking of yesterday's theme, let's why don't we discuss a few clues from yesterday's theme? Now, the biggest thing I missed, speaking of that theme from yesterday's puzzle, was I missed half of what was going on in yesterday's theme, and I suppose it was because it was an element that was less signposted by the puzzle. So the theme in yesterday's puzzle, I thought, was that we would have these phrases, for instance, Fig Newton, and in parentheses, it said unit of force, and then Newton is a unit of force. Great. So the theme is that all of these answers consist of a unit that's indicated, a unit of mass or weight or force or whatever. But it's also that the first half of each theme was a fruit. So for instance, in the Fig Newton example, we had a fruit, fig, and a unit, Newton. And that wasn't the theme. And I should credit, let's see, Spikel Thing pointed out, the theme is not just a unit of measurement, it's a fruit and a unit of measurement. Other people pointed that out as well, but Spikel Thing was the first that I saw, so I'm crediting them. And it was sort of strange. It was very arbitrary, because the unit of force was indeed clued in the puzzle, or not unit of force specifically, but the unit was suggested in the clue, nothing indicating the fruit. So we just had this very odd theme with a fruit and a unit, and that was it. A very sort of funny, arbitrary thing, but I did entirely miss it. So thank you to those who pointed it out. And speaking of the Fig Newton, I thought it was maybe named after Isaac Newton. It was not. Rahul Shah explains, I think a Fig Newton was named after the town in Massachusetts rather than Sir Isaac. And Kathleen Quinn responded to clarify, Fig Newtons were first produced in 1891 at the F.A. Kennedy Steam Bakery in Cambridgeport, Massachusetts. The company named the cookie after the town of Newton, Massachusetts. After becoming the Kennedy Biscuit Company and the New York Biscuit Company, it and the New York Biscuit Company eventually merged into what is now known as Nabisco. Mark your calendars for next year. January 16th is National Fig Newton Day. Did not know that it had a day. But I did know, and I really enjoy the fact that Nabisco is a contraction of the National Biscuit Corporation, the National Biscuit or Company, possibly, the National Biscuit Company. I think that's an incredible acronym. Speaking of acronyms, Remy explains that FIFA, FIFA, was created in France, and the acronym means Fédération Internationale de Football Association, or Association, I should say. Really mixing my pretty subpar French pronunciation already to begin with. Anyway, so there we have it. And in English, I guess that would be, I think, what I basically guessed it was, which was the International Federated Football Association, I suppose. And then Kathleen Quinn corrects a gross error, explaining the Book of Esther is not in the Torah. I'm very sorry about that. The Torah is a compilation of the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The Book of Esther belongs to Ketuvim, which is the 3rd division of the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible. Purim celebrates the salvation of the Jews of Persia during the reign of King Ahasuerus, my pronunciation, not so good today, who took the Jewess Esther as a consort. Haman, a conniving chief minister in the royal court, sought the extermination of the Jews. Esther pleaded her case to the king and saved the Jews from slaughter. Perhaps you have seen the quite delicious pastries called Haman's hats that are plentiful around the time of Purim, which will be celebrated from March 16th to 17th, 2022. So we're coming up. We're just over a month away. Thank you for that explanation and correction, and I'm very sorry for my error. Rick D. Natali corrects something that I sort of surprised I got wrong. That's sort of ridiculous. Comp sci would be computer science rather than comparative sciences. I don't know what's going on up in that tet, as today's crossword would have had it. Kathy Swope explains that Totina's Pizza Roll, as a food brand name, has an interesting history. The pizza roll was first invented by Gino Paolucci in 1968. He made a company called Gino's Pizza Rolls, which was eventually sold to Pillsbury. He first made them by replacing the inside filling of an egg roll with pizza topping. Rose Totino and her husband Jim founded a takeout pizzeria in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1951. They also founded a frozen pizza manufacturing company and eventually sold their frozen pizza business to the Pillsbury Company, where Rose Totino was named as vice president. Oh, interesting. So the Totino's Pizza Rolls sort of were grandfathered into a different and actually older pizza brand name. It's interesting, as a result of corporate acquisitions. All right, and that's all I have from yesterday's puzzle, and I think that means that's all I have from today's video. So thank you for joining me. As always, please do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this. I hope you do, and if you've made it this far, there must be something that you find tolerable about it, so why not subscribe to the channel? And pass it on to a friend if you think you know someone who might enjoy this sort of thing, either directly, in person, online, or through your virtual community of choice. You can also check out the virtual community of choice of the Daily Solve YouTube channel, which is the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field underneath the video, of course. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll get an extra channel, but anyone can join beyond that. So you can follow me on Twitter at The Daily Solve. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle. A tricky puzzle, first tricky puzzle of the week as I think of it, with generally a more involved theme. So we'll have to see what's in store for us then. I hope you will find out with me tomorrow. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.